In the last 48 hours, the Siddaramaiah government's religion trump card has backfired. Within a few hours of accepting the Lingayat community's demand of them being designated as a separate religion, a secret note from 2014 has now surfaced that shows how the Home Ministry in 2013, had turned down the demand of Lingayats to be made a separate religion. Mysteriously, 5 years later, with elections round the corner in Karnataka, they seem to be finding merit in the same demand. Celebrations in Hubli after the Karnataka government's recommendation to give Lingayats the status of a separate religion. But the Karnataka Chief Minister, Mr. Siddaramaiah, won't be in such a celebratory mood. Even as he goes temple hopping with Rahul Gandhi in Karnataka, he stands accused of trying to divide Hindus and also of being blatantly duplicitous while doing so. With the result that he faces rebellion within his own ranks. A powerful Lingayat Congress leader has now spoken against the Siddaramaiah government's decision, even indicating that he may quit the party along with his son, who's a minister in the state government.
ಅದೇನಪ್ಪ ಅಂದರೆ ವೀರಶೈವ ಧರ್ಮ 12ನೇ ಶತಮಾನಕ್ಕೆ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ನೋ ಮುನೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ವೀರಶೈವ ಧರ್ಮ ಬಹಳ ಪ್ರಾಚೀನವಾದ ಧರ್ಮ. ವಾಗೀಶ್ ರೇಣುಕಾ ಸ್ವಾಮಿಗಳು ಅವರೆಲ್ಲ ಹುಟ್ಟು ಹಾಕಿದ ಧರ್ಮ ವೀರಶೈವ ಧರ್ಮ. ಆ ಕಾಲದಿಂದ ಇದ್ದದ್ದನ್ನು ಇವತ್ತು ಇಲ್ದಂಗೆ ಬರೀ 12ನೇ ಶತಮಾನದಿಂದ ಬಂದಿದೆ ಲಿಂಗಾಯತ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಅಂತ ತೀರ್ಮಾನ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ.
And this is the reason the Congress is in a bind. A secret Home Ministry note from 5 years ago that shows how the then UPA government had turned down a demand to declare Lingayats a separate religion. In a note of the Home Ministry from 2013, accessed by India Today, the centre has said that the Lingayats are a sect of Hindus and not an independent religion. The Manmohan Singh government also deemed the demand by Lingayat organizations illogical and incorrect. The former Home Minister of the UPA, though, is sticking to his guns.
The seers of both Lingayat and Veershaiva communities have already said that this is one.
Right.
And therefore, those who want to divide the game of electoral gains, it will recoil on them, those who have decided to divide and rule. That won't happen.
The decision was taken by the former Home Minister. So one has to find out which Home Minister. Ministers also, they used to send me their representation as a Home Minister. But that time the matter was under consideration. And then elections took place. So we could not take any decision on that.
ऐसे ही एक प्रस्ताव मनमोहन सिंह सरकार के सामने आया था. तब के मनमोहन सिंह सरकार और कांग्रेस सरकार स्पष्ट तरीके से बताया वीरशैव लिंगायत ये हिंदू धर्म का एक अभिन्न अंग है. और अभी सिद्धरामैया कांग्रेस के मुख्यमंत्री जातियों में विद्वेष पैदा करना, फूट डालने की राजनीति कर रहे हैं.
हम पूछना चाहते हैं अमित शाह जी से और हम पूछना चाहते हैं बीएस येदुरप्पा जी से, आप पर्दे के पीछे वार क्यों कर रहे हैं? आप में साहस है, अगर आप में जरा सी भी ईमानदारी है तो सामने आकर कहिए कि आप लिंगायत समाज के विरोधी हैं.
The question that now arises is, has the Congress been caught in its own duplicity over the Lingayat issue? Does this issue now threaten to split the Siddaramaiah government itself? And can the former Home Minister simply wash his hands off all responsibility for a note that his own ministry sent? With Sahil Joshi, Nolan Pinto and Anindo Banerjee, Bureau Report, India Today. Now, on the 14th of November in 2013, a reply was sent to the request that had been made by a Congress MLA from Karnataka that Lingayats be given the status of a separate religion. That time, the Home Minister was Mr. Sushil Kumar Shinde, and he is with us in the People's Court now. Mr. Shinde, because the note went from your ministry, I want to begin by asking you, why is it that in 2013 you did not think that to give minority status to Lingayats was feasible, advisable, even logical?
It is not a fact. You see, my ministry has never refused this. In fact, I, as a Home Minister, knowing, you see, Lingayat community's demand for very long time, and I stay in Sholapur, my just adjacent to Karnataka boundary. Lot of people stay in Sholapur also of that community, Lingayat community. So I was favorable to them and I was considering. But this decision was not taken during my time. This later very clear cut, it says, you see, that the former Home Minister has taken decision, not Mr. Shinde. So, you see, they are manipulating all these things. That is not correct.
No, actually that is not correct, Mr. Shinde. It does not say that the former Home Minister, it says approval of the then Home Minister. But again, if you were favorable to Lingayats' demands, why is it that the MHA note said, and I am quoting from that note, Lingayats are not an independent religion but are a sect of Hinduism, sir?
Doesn't matter, you see, but the state has got every powers. It has happened in Andhra also. When their reservation was given to Muslims, minority, this thing was happened. The matter went right up to the Supreme Court. Yet, you see, they took decision. So it is on the elected government. It is the right of the elected government to take such type of decision and to sort out the grievances of the people. That's why this Chief Minister of Karnataka has taken very good decision. I congratulate him, you see, for taking such a bold decision.
Be a really strange duality between what your ministry did at that time and what you are saying today. You're saying it was another Home Minister who sent this note. The fact is that the Congress was in government at that time, Mr. Shinde.
That is my contention, you see, that you have to search, you see, who is the former minister. So you have to find out. When you have found out this later, so it is very easy to find out who has taken that decision, whether it was in the government of UPA or whether it was government of BJP.
How can it be the government? How can the government be of BJP? Because this note is of 2013. It is dated the 14th of November 2013. It comes on the back of a mail trail of letters that have been sent to you by Mr. Veerappa Moily in just the month of October before that, and from the Congress president. The UPA was in power at that time. How can the NDA government have made the decision?
That is, I am not denying. 2013, I was Home Minister and this lot of representation had also come to me. Mr. Moily had also written to me.
Okay, so you're accepting all of that, yet you refuse to believe that this was a note that was vetted by you. This was an answer. That was your stand at that time. Let me ask you today, Mr. Shinde, do you think that Lingayats are a separate religion?
No, that is a different thing now. You see, the state's problem is that whoever demands and look into the demands of the state, grievances, and solve their demand. So is whether the question is that, you see, whether it is caste or creed or any religion. I don't think it will come in that way.
You don't think it will come in the way, yet in your ministry's note, the demand of the Lingayats, and that's page 3 of the reply, you said the Lingayats' demand was not logical or correct. Now you expect the centre, which has the BJP in power, to support a demand that you rejected when you were in government. Why?
If they know the people's mind, if they want to solve the problem, if they want to reduce the grievances of the people, they should accede to this demand.
Well, if you know the minds of the people and you've said that In Sholapur also there are many Lingayats. Now, irrespective of what happened in 2013, you say that the demands of the Lingayat community is justified. Is that your opinion now?
It is absolutely right. Because their old leaders also, they used to come. I do not remember the name of that old leader. He was very, very senior leader. He used to come, who was minister in Karnataka cabinet long time. And such a renowned people were involved in that. I think this was genuine demand of them.
Okay, Mr. Shinde, you find this a genuine demand. Thanks for the time being for joining us in the People's Court. Clearly not willing to answer the straight questions. Thank you, Mr. Shinde. All right, so the Home Minister, the former Home Minister in the UPA government, Mr. Sushil Kumar Shinde, says that it wasn't he who turned down the demand of the Lingayats to be given the status of a separate religion. Does that seem credible at all? Joining us now in the People's Court, Malvika Avinash, spokesperson of the BJP in Karnataka, and Brijesh Kalappa, spokesperson of the Congress. Malvika Avinash, does Mr. Shinde's assertion that he doesn't even know who it is who sent the note from the Home Ministry at that time, does it seem credible?
Oh no, not at all. I think the entire nation has seen what he had to say, and it's indeed very typical of Congress to first do something and then pretend as if nothing happened. And for someone of Mr. Sushil Kumar Shinde's stature to now go back and say that he's not aware of the note itself, or to say that it's not his, or to completely withdraw responsibility is indeed unfortunate, and only exposes the Congress's duplicity.
Brijesh Kalappa, duplicitous?
No, Padmaja, I don't know why this should be a subject of debate, because any central government, on the basis of the circumstances of the day, on the basis of the groundswell, takes a decision in regard to whether a particular decision has to be taken one way or another way. I don't know why anybody has to, pressurize himself into feeling that a decision taken in 2013 ought to be taken yet again in 2018. That is hardly the subject of discussion.
No, of course it's subject of discussion, because at that time, a man who was your MLA, an MLA of your party, Brijesh Kalappa, thought it was a valid demand. Are you saying that the demand at that time by Mr. Shamanur Shivashankarappa was unjust, and it's only now that you seem to have seen any value in it? It wasn't someone on the outside, it was your MLA who had raised that demand. He wrote to the party president. Then why did Mrs. Sonia Gandhi forward that recommendation to the Union Home Ministry? Were you trying to appease the Lingayats at that time? Were you keeping them in the dark?
What happens within the... what happens within the party and outside the party is a different scenario. So merely because Mrs. Gandhi has referred a matter to the Union Home Ministry, they don't have to take a decision based on the political interests. They have to look at the ground situation.
Brijesh Kalappa, with respect,
let them look at the ground situation.
On the 4th of October 2013, no less than the Congress president wrote to the Union Home Ministry. Subsequently, no less than Mr. Veerappa Moily, who was the Petroleum and Natural Gas Minister in your government in October 2013, forwarded the letter of Mr. Shiv Shankarappa again to the Union Home Ministry. What was all of this? Why was this being done? Did you just want to keep the Lingayat leader in good spirits? Why did Mr. Veerappa Moily not just write back to Mr. Shiv Shankarappa and say, your demand is not valid, we reject it?
No, but he was not the Minister for Home. Mr. Veerappa Moily was only forwarding a letter. He was only recommending an issue.
He was a union minister.
Supposing there is
as a union minister, as a Congress president, why was this demand then given any credence at all?
No, this is a demand which has been given credence not just now. Since the 1960s, there is a demand.
So you think
merely
since
because
the 1960s,
there was a demand
it's a valid
from
demand?
the 1960s for
since
a Telangana state.
the 1960s, was this a valid demand?
No, of course it's a valid demand.
So if it's always been a valid demand,
of course it is
why
a valid
did you call
demand.
it illogical in 2013?
The point is...
Why did it seem illogical in 2013 to you? It's a simple question.
We didn't call it
in principle, you agree with it, right?
No, why we didn't deem it... No, No, we still agree with it. I'm saying there has to be a groundswell. In a democracy, any decision has to be taken based on the number of people who want such a decision to be taken. This is the numbers always matter.
Malvika Vinash.
Padmaja, this
just like I said, from
has it
Telangana,
emerged
the
suddenly
Telangana
in the
movement
last
has
6
been on since the
months
1960s.
of Siddaramaiah's government? By Congress's own admission, this has been a long-standing demand. So what groundswell is it suddenly then? The groundswell has always been there. Was it any less in 2013 and much more in 2018 because elections are ahead? What groundswell is he speaking about? The demand has always been there. Instead of allowing the community to deliberate and to resolve these differences and to then propose it to the government, Siddaramaiah completely hijacks the situation, sets up a committee of Justice Nagmohan Das with 7 constituents, none of whom are stakeholders in the Lingayat Veershaiva community, and then fast tracks that committee report, gets it within 2 months, although they are supposed to deliberate for 6 months, and all the members of the committee, much before the committee is formed itself, believe and express the opinion that there should be a separate religion. So where was the deliberations held, and where are the stakeholders of the community in all of this? Is the state government supposed to represent, is the state government supposed to sit on deliberating what the community should be feeling?
Why are you sensing this groundswell 2 months before the elections?
Today,
that's the charge on you, Brijesh Kalappa.
The Lingayats are clashing with each other.
And you're literally playing with fire, pitting people against each other.
5 years. If
Mr. Kalappa.
2013 is when Mrs. Sonia Gandhi recommended to the then Home Minister, Siddaramaiah was very much in power in 2013.
Mr. Kalappa.
Between 2013 and 2018, what was Mr. Siddaramaiah doing? Why did he not deliberate?
Let him respond, Mr. Kalappa.
See, Padmaja, see, there are 3 questions raised. One is regarding the timing. The timing, as you know, when there was a huge delegation which met Mr. Siddaramaiah, there was a proper procedure to be followed, and that procedure has today been followed. Whether it's the constitution of a committee, whether it's the constitution of a group of ministers, then they were all group of ministers who all belong to the same community. Now the community itself felt that one minute, if she will permit me to speak, or if she can come and sit on my side also, she can speak for the both of us.
No, Brijesh, you can't be saying all this. That's not true, Brijesh.
See, there was,
the committee did not have any ministers in it. What are you speaking about? Which committee are you speaking about? Are you speaking of the Justice Nagmohan Das committee? I'll give you the names. I'll give you the names of the members of that committee.
You want her only to speak and not me to speak?
I'll give you the names.
Okay, wait, Malvika Vinash, he wants to respond to all 3 points that you have raised. Yes, Brijesh Kalappa, respond to those 3 points.
No, how can he get away with lying, no?
See, the first thing is, Padmaja, I don't like all these words. I don't lie on television. You've seen me for the last so many years. Please let her withdraw her words. These are not words which I will take lying down. Please,
okay.
I
no personal
honestly
slurs.
don't like these
Let's
words.
just respond
why
point
I
wise.
the names of the members
this is
of
not
the
a subject
committee.
which concerns
Justice
me personally.
Nagmohan Das, Dwaraknath, Muzaffar Azadi, Ramkrishna Marathe, Purushottama Bilimake, and Siddaramaiah himself, Saruj Katkar. Which one of these is a minister? Which one of these is a minister?
Brijesh Kalappa, finish your point.
First of all, Padmaja, there was a group of ministers constituted, and they are the ones who went and met the community people. They met various cross sections of the community, and this is a committee which comprised people like MB Patil, people who are like Mr. Kulkarni, who are all ministers in the cabinet, including Mr. Shamnu Shivshankarappa's son, Mr. Mallikarjun. They first ascertained the views of the community. Then there was a committee which was formed, which this lady is now speaking about, and she's given the names. The community itself felt that no, let there not be any member of the community in that committee. These are all experts, these are all people with a proven track record. They are the people who went into the entire facts of the situation, and they are the ones who now made, because one of them is a retired judge, the others are professors
Brijesh,
or
don't say
either
things that
academics.
are not true, please.
Madam, will you allow me to speak, madam? What kind of debate is this, Padmaja?
No.
Are you conducting a debate? What are you doing?
Of course, no, because you're talking about Mr. Shiv Shankarappa. I want to ask
you're the anchor. She's not the
Absolutely.
anchor.
So let me ask you, Brijesh Kalappa, why is it that the same gentleman whose name you're taking has said today, and I quote, that I have realized Mr. Siddaramaiah's decision is a mistake. The state recommendation sent to centre clearly states that whoever follows Basa Tattva philosophy can be considered a religious minority. We are opposing it because the Veerashaiva sect was there even before Basavanna, who founded the Lingayat religion. I oppose what Mr. Siddaramaiah has done. This is not Malvika Avinash. This is not the BJP. This is your MLA and former minister saying what you are doing is divisive and he opposes it. Are you going to expel him? Is he wrong?
No, see, there are two ways of looking at this. One is that Mr. Shiv Shankar has certain views. We'll have to convey, he has sought basically clarifications. If the government notification speaks of Basava Tattva, according to me, in my reading, it comprises both Veerashaiva and Lingayat. Perhaps Mr. Shamnu Shiv Shankar is not aware that it comprises both groups. Both groups are now being recommended for inclusion as a separate religion. So Mr. Shamnu Shiv Shankar is perhaps not aware. Also, he's slightly aged, so one will have to go and speak to him and try to tell him that we are bona fides are perfectly right. We are an earnest government and we would like to let you know that these are the circumstances. On the basis of the letter, the BJP can't be, jumping up and down and like a jack in a box. Because their own minister, their own chief minister.
Again, we had agreed things like liars, jack in the box is not going to be used. So let's both sides desist from that. But Brijesh Kalappa, you have deflected every question. One, if you believe this to be a just demand, why did you wait until 2018? I did. I stopped her. I said you will not call anyone a liar. You will not call anyone jack in the box. Let this be the ground rule for the debate. Going forward, let me ask you again. If you have, you heard me now. You heard me now. If you believe that this was a just demand, Brijesh Kalappa, you are just trying to deflect from the issue because you don't want to answer the question. Why did Mr. Shinde say no to a demand for a separate religion to Lingayats in 2013? Why did he not agree? Why does his home ministry write back to Mr. Shiv Shankar Appa and say that the demand made by you is not logical or correct? Why was this said? Just give me the answer to this one question. Was Mr. Shinde wrong? I think you're
asking me a very unfair. I think you're asking me something. I think you're asking me a most unfair question. I was not in the Home Ministry. I was not working with Mr. Shinde. I have no idea what decision the Union Home Ministry has taken. But if the present government doesn't want to take a decision, they are welcome to go back to that decision and say nothing has changed from then to now. Let them take such a decision. We have no objection. The point is that we in the Karnataka government have complied with all the procedures.
So you are saying that the current state government and the current Congress party in Karnataka disagrees with what the Congress at the Union in 2013 believed vis-a-vis Lingayats? You have to have a consistent policy, right? You are one party.
That things change with the passage of time.
What has changed with the passage of time?
Consistent policy always changes.
They had a demand in the 1940s. They have a demand in 2018.
Circumstances have changed. Groundswell has increased.
Groundswell has increased. All right.
Groundswell has increased. Groundswell has increased. Yeah, groundswell has increased.
Circumstances started saying, Padmaja, groundswell was always there. How so now during elections that the groundswell has increased?
No, but who are you? You're not the arbiter of groundswell.
Where was Mr. Siddaramaiah?
Malvika Avinash is not going to be the arbiter, final arbiter, to say groundswell has changed or not changed. You're not the arbiter. You're not the final person to say that there has been a change of circumstances.
Who are you to say that then?
It's the government. There is a legitimately elected government which is saying that things have changed.
Or is it about the Lingayats and the Veerashaivas? Don't make it a personal battle, Mr. Brijesh Kalappa. I am not here to have a quarrel with you.
That's why I am telling you. There is a legitimately elected government. There is a legitimately elected government there is a legitimately elected government which says that
and the elected government is going for elections too. The elected government is not going to stay for the next 100 years.
To believe you are the government.
I am not saying circumstances haven't changed, sir. Circumstances have been for several years. It's your own Congress party which is saying that it's a long-standing demand. Then when did it change?
No, that is your personal opinion, but nobody needs to buy that opinion. Nobody needs to buy Malvika Avinash's
What is
opinion.
he talking about,
If you
Padmaja?
were
I
the
think we've
final
gone far
arbiter,
away from Lingayats
everybody would have come and sought your
into
opinion.
Brajesh's
Say, what does
sermon.
Malvika Avinash speak
Okay,
about?
we
Think about
put
a
the
particular
facts
issue.
out there of what has happened in the
It's not
last
about
5
you and
years.
me at all, Brajesh.
The duplicity exposed not only on the
It's
part
not
of the
about you
Congress,
and
but
me.
we also
This
must
is
put it
about
on
Lingayats and
record
Veerashaivas
that the
and the
current
Hindus.
Chief Minister
This is not about you and
of
me.
the
I don't know why you're
BJP,
getting so
Mr.
personal.
Yediyurappa, also on record as a member of the KJP at that time, having signed on a similar demand for Lingayats as a special religion, a separate religion. The people
And there
have
are several
heard both
members
the
of the
sides.
BJP.
Absolutely.
There are several
The
members of
people
the
have heard
BJP
both
even
the
today
sides,
who
whether
have
they
signed
are
that
going to
memorandum.
accept
Let
duplicitous
them all be-
politics like
let
this
them all be
on a
thrown out of
sensitive
the
issue
party.
like this.
I just
It's
need
best
1 minute
left.
to explain that.
It's best left.
Padmaja, I think Brajesh has spoken for long. Give me 1 minute without Brajesh talking.
Okay, I will
Please.
give you 30 seconds.
Please allow me 1 minute
30
without
seconds.
Brajesh
How do you explain
intercepting.
Mr. Yediyurappa's letter?
I have to explain that.
Mr. Yediyurappa's letter, how do you explain?
Yes, Mr. Yediyurappa and BJP have maintained that this is a matter of the community. It is not for the state to intervene, to hijack and to take over. The community has to resolve it within itself and then forward a collective demand to the center or to the state government asking for a separate religious status. It is not for Mr. Siddaramaiah to separate Lingayats from the Veerashaivas and decide that the Veerashaivas don't need it or the Veerashaivas are different.
Okay,
now, the
but let's-
Veerashaivas and the Lingayats and all their religious leaders and heads
Okay.
have to come
And
together,
that has not been said.
brainstorm and
According
then
to
come
me,
up with a
according to my
resolution.
reading,
It's not
both
Siddaramaiah's
Veerashaivas
call at
and the
all, and
Lingayats
the
have
BJP
been
is
grouped
consistent
together.
on this.
Okay,
And
Mrs.
nobody is going to lose
Ms.
any of the
Malvika
benefits.
Avinash, you are
BJP has been
engaging in
consistent
semantics,
on
but
this.
let's just
I
be very
think I
clear.
should have my word.
Today
If
you are
you are
calling the
not
demand of
clear,
Lingayats as a separate
that the
religion
BJP is trying to muddy the
anti-national.
waters
The
to
fact
the
is,
extent
at one
possible.
point, Mr.
And this is
Yediyurappa
exactly what the
had
BJP
supported
spokesperson
that very
on this
demand as
television debate is
well.
also
But
doing.
again, I have said, the viewers have heard both of the sides. Whether they accept this is best left to them. I am out of time. So Malvika Avinash, Brijesh Kalappa, both of you, I'll have to say thank you to you at this point. Thanks very much for our viewers for having joined us on the People's Square.
Thanks for watching the video. For more such news and updates, please like, share and subscribe to India Today. Also check out our other great videos from our channel. We know you would love to.